2020, 5 years ago, George Floyd was killed. And I want to talk about the fact that I don't remember what happened. I know that there was justice for the police officer who killed George Floyd. He's in prison now. I remember there was a trial. I remember there was all this stuff. But I always just started thinking, we blame the police officer for killing him. We, of course, do. He didn't have to kill him. But if you understand the why it happened, I think some part of me has an eerie feeling that something is coming. Another Black Death, another calamity in terms of Zelensky and the war. So here's what we learned from George Floyd. Business. This man was one of the biggest, strongest black people in the world. I couldn't beat him up. You couldn't beat him up. You'd have to have a gun, handcuffs, weapons to take him on. He literally was D-Bone to the Ice Cube. You have to have a brick and hit him upside his face. Otherwise, you can get your ass kicked. George Floyd was a smart man to say, you know what? Let's just use counterfeit money. And we all think about that. We all look at that and we go, I have no money. I'm hungry. I'm not going to be homeless. Well, I can just get counterfeit money. Why don't black people do that? They go, because you get arrested, you get arrested, you get arrested, you get... But are we really saying that's true? Do we really believe that counterfeit money works? Yes, it does. The government is super simple to counterfeit their money. And when you're smart enough to have counterfeit bills, the question is, well, I'm using counterfeit money. Like Leonardo DiCaprio's character did in Catch Me If You Can, checks and things like that. You just make something fake. This is what it looks like real. This is what it looks like fake. So I can get for thousands of dollars, spend it on counterfeit. And I'm sorry, I have to hurry up because my computer's going to go laggy. But George Floyd was smart enough to say, well, if I don't have money, I'll just make counterfeit money. The woman called the police because of counterfeit cash. And I'll tell you why she called the police, because she thought there's nothing I can do. He made me look stupid. This black guy just made me look stupid. He came in, he bought the food he needed, he bought the smokes or whatever he needed to buy. He used counterfeit cash. And we got to make an example of this guy, because if black people, if immigrants, if all of us start using counterfeit cash, they'll just say, well, we don't trust it. It has to have a specific seal, or it has and a lot of these people who work at these, gas stations and everything, they hate counterfeit cash because they're like, damn, you got one over on me. It's like piracy. It's like movie piracy, where you're like, you just were able to, for free, get one over on me. So she called the police. I remember the police officers were weak. They weren't strong enough to bring George Floyd down. They only had guns and tasers. And they were weak. If it was a fight physically between them, without guns or anything, they would have got their ass fucked up by George Floyd. He was big. He would have beat the shit out of them. If they were in prison with him, he would have made them their bitch. They were bitches. They couldn't fight him. He was the D-Bone. He was the big guy. So what they decided to do is say, here's the big guy who's putting the idea to do counterfeit, who's putting the idea that we can't beat him up. He's like an Eric Weber as a critic. That he can talk as much crap as he wants about an Andrew Tate or anybody, because he knows that he's muscular and he'll fuck you up. So what do you think they did to this guy to learn from this situation? What do you think they did to this kingpin, to this, Captain America? This guy got his ass killed. And the way they kill you, this is the way they kill you. They handcuff you, they put you on your side, and then they put their knee down into where you're breathing. Your I forget what it's called, the kidney or the lungs or whatever, and they put their knee on top of you, and if they keep that there for a couple of minutes, you can't breathe. They do this process not on weak, skinny people like me. With me, they would have just smacked me upside the head, put me in handcuffs, and I would have gone to jail, and I would have been in jail. But because this guy did not want to he was scared of how dirty those cop cars were. They were disgusting. It was disgusting. He did not want to get in the cop car, and they couldn't get him in. So they said, well, if we can't get you to jail, you're going to be dead. Think about it. If you're the Juggernaut, and you're this character who's called the Juggernaut, and you're a character who's called Wolverine, your character who's called Iron Man, if we have to take you in and we can't take you in, we kill you. We're not going to say, oh, well, fucking leave. Get out of here. This is a cool Axel Foley character who's going to laugh at you and move on. No, they kill you. They kill you. George Floyd was killed because he was the biggest and strongest man in the world who could fuck anybody up. And if you didn't have a gun, and you didn't have a knife, and you didn't have something physical that could beat him up, you were going to get your ass fucked up. They were terrified of George Floyd. And we haven't seen it. And, it's kind of like that. I knew Harvey Dent, and it'll be a long time till another person comes along and inspires us. Well, I knew George Floyd. He was a motherfucker who was using counterfeit cash. And he was big, so you could call the police. He'll fuck the police up. Unless they shoot him. They didn't shoot him. They took his breath away. Take my breath away. They took his breath away. So the question that we establish is that were they right to do so? Well, I mean, if that would have been a white man, it would have still been wrong. If it would have been any man, it would have been wrong. But you realize there's nothing we can do as police officers. We're not strong enough. We need like 18 or 20 guys to bring this guy in. And then we got to, in prison, everybody's, I don't know. I feel like I don't justify what happened, but I do go, George Floyd was the guy who makes you his bitch. You are the little bitch in the situation fighting George Floyd. He is the strong one. He's the one that James Bond can't beat in a fight. He's the one that gets his ass kicked. I mean, this is the one that kicks the ass and you get your ass kicked. And that was it. And ultimately, as we look at it, the girl, nobody cared about her. Nobody cares about, you call the police. He's dead because you called the police. Yeah, but he used a counterfeit cash, and I'm not going to let anybody. So I think that's what we're going to start seeing. I think we're going to see immigrants and people in the future be smarter and use counterfeit cash and say, well, it makes sense that if you have to make a choice, you're broke, you're homeless, you have nothing, start paying in counterfeit cash. Counterfeit is the future of crime. And they find out quickly. They're not stupid. They know. They when they put someone at the front, they say, this is what a counterfeit bill is, and they're going to find out. But fuck it, use it. I always say, fuck it. If I got to get a piece of potato chips to live, I gave you counterfeit cash. And here's the thing about counterfeit cash. Nobody will tell you it's not worth something unless they tell you it's not worth something. So you can have $1,000 in counterfeit cash until someone ultimately says, hey, these shoes that you say are really purple at the bottom, they're not purple, they're yellow. Who cares? They're shoes. You're wearing them. You made them. Who cares if they're counterfeit? You got something out of it. So you got a $20 bill. Whether it's real, who cares? I don't give a fuck. Are you that stupid that if a drug dealer comes up to you and you give him $10,000 in counterfeit, you're going to sit there and go, oh, but $10,000 of it is counterfeit? They're scared. The idea is scary that counterfeit is the future. It's the future. That's why they go on, and it's going to be done on crypto. You're going to have a digital $4 million. It's not digitally $4 million of anything. It's just a fake number. It's some kind of program, and that's it. So I'm just going to say that. So George Floyd, I'm sorry that you're dead, but you were strong enough to kill every single police officer that comes at you. None of them were stronger than you. None of them were stronger than you. None of them could beat you up, and that's why they killed you. They killed you because you were better than the protection that was trying to protect. They were little bitches who would get their asses beat unless they shot you, and you gave them no reason to shoot you, so they had to kill you. They were bitches. They were the little bitch in the yard going, I have to fight him? No, you have to shiv him, and one shiv isn't going to be enough. I need like 30 guys to shiv this guy. There we go.